Right. Are we live right now? I think we are live right now. Just waiting for the thing that tells me to live. Oh, there we go. We are live right now. So, yeah, here we go, guys. Yo, guys, Blues Not here, and welcome back to another stream. This time, of course, we are doing on YouTube once again, not on Periscope, that is. And it has been 3 days. Well, actually, 2.5 days since the US has pretty much shocked everybody by not making the World Cup, and it is still really hard to accept the fact that they're not going to make the playoffs, or not the playoffs, but the World Cup in 2018. I mean, it has been really tough to kind of accept the fact that this is going to happen. And also, so the fact is that after what I saw in that game against Trinidad and Tobago, it's been really hard for me to even talk anything about football, okay? It's been really hard to do. The good news is, what did kind of cheer me up and what did kind of make me a little bit happy is the fact that Bruce Arena is officially not the manager of the US soccer team. Thank fuck that he finally resigned. I mean, honestly, I don't know why the hell did it take him 2 days to realize that he needs to resign. Like, he should have resigned after that game against Trinidad and Tobago. He needs to do what Roy Hodgson did with England when they lost to Iceland. He needs to resign after that moment, and thank goodness he has been resigned. However, one thing I will say is that that's just the beginning of the numerous change we need in terms of this federation. I mean, I've said it about I talked about it during my rent video, which, by the way, a lot of people actually watched the rent video. Thank you for all the comments and also all the likes in that video. I mean, I'm not doing that just for profit or views or stuff like that. That was a video where I just had to express my opinions and express my feelings of what the heck is going on with this team and why in the world this federation is just... It's clearly something's got to fix. Like, we need to start all over again. And with Bruce Arena getting out of this federation and he's no longer the manager, that's just the beginning of the step. Now we need to get rid of that Galati guy, and we need to get rid of any other high rank official that is in that US federation team and stuff like that. But either way, I'm not gonna mainly talk about that in this video, because as you can see in the title, that is not what this video is all about, because this video is about the match preview between the San Jose Earthquakes versus the Vancouver Whitecaps. Yes, we are back in club football. Thank fuck we are back in club football. I mean, I couldn't take that international break ever again. I hope I will never have a worse international break than what I just witnessed in the last international break. So, I'm so glad that we're back in club football. However, speaking of heartbreaks, that might not be the end of what I might be suffering heartbreaks in these next couple of weeks. In fact, the Quakes, you know, I don't know how in the world are they going to, are they exactly going to do to try to suffer our fans once again, because you know how the Quakes, whenever it's crunch time, whenever it's the pivotal moment of whether or not we make the playoffs or not, we always tends to fail. However, having said that, you know, we're here again. We are here once again in this situation where we have 2 games left. We are currently in 8th in the Western Conference, even though technically we should be in 7th place because of what happened with FC Dallas. I don't even need to mention it anymore because I think you guys are pretty annoyed the fact that I'm still kind of complaining about it, and I kind of want to just like move on from this situation, even though it keeps sticking into my back of the head, and how pissed off I am with the fact that, you know, if they're going to make the playoffs, they probably just cheated their way to be in the playoffs. But having said that, we are 1 point behind FC Dallas. We are currently 4 points behind Houston Dynamos after the Dynamos beat Sporting KC on Wednesday. Which, by the way, for the 1 millionth time, thanks a lot, Sporting KC. Like, what the heck? How in the world can you not beat a Houston Dynamo team that did not have Kyoto, Elise, and all other guys that is currently key factor in their team. I mean, how in the world did you not win? And also that game that I did see like the highlights of that game, and that game pretty much summarized what happened with that Trinidad Tobago versus USA game, because just like that game against Trinidad Tobago, Sporting KC also scored a hilarious own goal in that game. So yeah, thanks a lot Sporting KC for helping us out. And actually, do me a favor, Sporting KC, please beat Houston at home. Like, I swear to God, if you cannot beat Houston at home, then yeah, I don't know if we can have many chances of actually making the playoffs. Well, to be fair, we do have, we're kind of competing against 4 teams for those final 2 spots. And I know for a fact that RSL are playing against Colorado in the Rocky Mountain Derby, and obviously that's going to be a very interesting game, even though Colorado is like in the bottom of the table. When you have kind of like a derby and kind of like a rivalry game, you know, everything, all those talk about how one team is more superior than other team in the standing, all of that goes out of the window. So hopefully the Rapids can do us a favor and beat RSL, or even drew against RSL. And as for, I'm not sure who exactly FC did. Oh, they play against Sounders. They play against Seattle Sounders. And I know last time when I praised Seattle can get a result against FC Dallas, they got a 0-0 draw, which was okay, but at the same time, I want them to win. Now this time, you better win, Seattle Sounders. You better beat FC Dallas. You got to beat those cheating bag of team that just literally decided to cheat their way into the playoffs by fielding an ineligible player. So please, do us a favor and beat them. Now, as for us, we have to go on the road against the Whitecaps. Yeah, the Whitecaps, the team that is in the top of the standing in the Western Conference, and are the only team that is currently locked into the playoff position. Although one thing I will say this, because they're like the only team that has locked into the playoff position, maybe in a way it kind of benefit us a little bit, because, you know, since they're already locked in, I think they'll probably play like their weaker squad. They kind of like rest some of the guys to get ready for the playoffs and stuff like that. Unlike other teams like FC Dallas, Houston, and RSL has to play against teams that are either like kind of like in the bottom of the table, or they're kind of like in that playoff race too, where it's gonna be very kind of intense. So maybe that will be one of the things that I think we will be benefit. However, one of the other things that I think will definitely not benefit us is that this game is on the road, and you know how bad our road form is. I don't need to explain how bad our road form is this season, especially ever since Chris Leach has taken over this team. I mean, it's just been a demolition after game after game after game, and I just have a feeling that it's gonna happen again. Now, having said that, you know, if there is one time, right, where the Quakes can actually get a result on the road and just doesn't completely capitulate every time they do on the road and give up like 3, 4, or 5 goals on the road, this will be the time. Because if they can get a result out of this, if they can get a draw or even a surprising win in this game, I can forgive them all about that 5 or 4-0 loss that they always do in the playoffs. That is how big this game is. And I really think that just to make this playoffs race very interesting, and just for the sake of trying to make this as interesting as it is into like the final day when it just kind of like coming down to the wire, at least we got to get a draw out of this. I think if we get a loss out of this, it will really kind of end our playoff hope, depending on what the other team is. I mean, if the other team win and we get a loss, then our playoff hope is pretty much just, it's gone. Like, it is pretty much gone. I think if we lose this game and Dallas of course win, then we will of course be officially eliminated into the playoff race, because I think Dallas will be like 4 points up on us. And yeah, I think we're pretty much just eliminated in this, so we can't afford to lose this game. But having said that, if we drew this game, it's not going to help us either way, because let's say if Dallas win also, we're going to be like 3 points behind, and I think they definitely have the superior goal differential than us. Although to be fair, they don't really have, I think one thing I keep forgetting is that MLS does not go with goal differential in terms of tiebreaker, which I'm kind of glad that is the case, because our goal differential is one of the, if not the worst in the Western Conference right now. It is just so bad right now that there is just no way in the world that if we had a goal differential kind of tiebreaker, we would not be in the playoffs. We would not be in this discussion. But because of the fact that we're going with like a win kind of differential in terms of who gets in and who gets out of the playoffs, I know that we're currently like tied with RSL in every category in terms of win, draw, and loss. And the only reason why they're above us is because of goal differential. And I know Dallas have only got like 10 wins and 13 draw. So if they slip up, then they will be, of course, be in the bottom. And they should be in the bottom right now. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I just cannot let go of the fact that what they did a couple of weeks ago, and the fact that, you know, clearly they should be in 8th right now. They shouldn't even be above the playoff line right now. But having said that, you know, obviously in this game, one of the big things we're going to have to stop is obviously going to be Freddie Montero. I mean, you know, this guy is probably one of the most underrated player in the league right now. Like, I feel like the Caps, in terms of the team, are probably the most underrated team in the league right now, because even though they're top of their standing, nobody really talks about them. Nobody really thinks that they have a big chance in making a run to the MLS Cup. But having said that, I mean, if you look at this season and how the East is just so strong this season, and most likely this is probably the year where the East will finally win an MLS Cup, finally end that streak of that. Probably goes back to like, I think 2010 or 2000 something like that. It's been a while since an Eastern Conference team has won the MLS Cup, and I just feel like when you look at the East, when you look at teams like Toronto FC, Atlanta, New York City FC, and all the other teams, they are really strong team, and they definitely can beat a Western Conference team so easily. I mean, it's been proven in the regular season where Eastern Conference teams have been beating Western Conference team left, right, and left and right. So, yeah, but obviously we're not going to be talking about that, because all we need is to focus on our own conference, and I'm just really praying. I'm praying to God that the Quakes can finally get a result out of this. Please, if this is literally, we gotta treat this game like this is the cup final, okay? This is probably the game where we gotta treat as if this is gonna be an elimination game, of where if we don't win or drew this game, we are mathematically out of this. Well, actually, not mathematically, but we're eliminated into the playoffs, and our season is going to be done. Please at least just make it interesting for the last day of the season, because if they make it interesting in the last day of the season, I'll tell you what, it's going to be really interesting going to the last game of the season. I already got tickets to go to the last game of the season, and boy, it's going to be a very intense, it'll probably one of the most emotional vlog that I will ever do in my match vlog season. Even more emotional than when I did the Cali Classico early this year. But having said that, let's actually now go into the starting 11. Obviously, I think we're going to go with a 4-4-2. I think my tactics for this game and what Chris needs to do is that first, we need to park the bus, okay? We need to put at least 9 guys behind the box. I know it's not a really good tactic to use, just kind of like park the bus and not even commit forward. But the fact is that if we concede a goal, right? If we concede first in this game, that it is game over, because it's been proven time and time again, when we concede the first goal, this team will never come back, okay? Not only they will never come back, they will start the floodgate just pretty much open every time we concede the first goal. So if we concede the first goal, might as well just turn off my TV, because I know for a fact that they're probably going to lose 2-3 or 4-0, stuff like that. But obviously, to solve that solution, to pretty much not concede first, we got to park the bus. We got to try to hold our defensive shape early on and see if we can somehow go on the counter attack. Somehow Vancouver will make a mistake and we can try to capitalize on that. So that's pretty much my main tactics of this game. And of course, the formation, I'm going to go with a pretty deep 4-4-2. It's going to be kind of a Dominic Kintner 4-4-2 formation, where we always go very defensive whenever Dominic Kintner uses this kind of formation. season. And I'm just really worried that with Chris Leach and how the way that his tactics goes and how he always tends to like love a attacking kind of approach, I don't know if he's going to approach this 4-4-2 the same way as what Dominic Kintner would do when he approached with the 4-4-2 and go very defensive on the team. But nevertheless, in goal, it's going to be Andrew Tarbell because, you know, David Bingham, if you guys haven't heard the news, he potentially could be leaving in the winter. And I don't really blame him for potentially leaving us, mainly because, you know, this season he's clearly, like, he's pretty much lost his spot, okay? I mean, when he, of course, lost his spot back in, like, August, we thought that, you know, with Andrew Tarbell coming in, it was just kind of like a temporary fix. It was just kind of like a competition of between Bingham and Tarbell and who exactly will be in that starting spot. But it turns out that Tarbell, of course, won that competition, although I don't know how in the world did he won that competition, because both keeper from us is just really shit. And the fact that this is why in the offseason, I know a lot of people haven't mentioned this, we need a new goalkeeper. There is just no way in the world next season we're going to have Tarbell as the starting goalkeeper week in and week out, because both of those goalkeepers are really shit. I think Tarbell is only good if he is in kind of like a backup kind of position, mainly due to the fact that when you look at all the U.S. Open Cup game, and that is where you usually put your backup goalkeeper, that is usually where he step up. When he plays like weeks in and week out, that is not where he, of course, step up to the stakes. So because of that, we need a goalkeeper next season. But for now, we're going to put Andrew Tarbell in there. Now, in terms of course, the four defense and the 2 center back, I'm going to go with Youngworth and probably Imperiale. I don't really want to put Bernardes in there. Even though Bernardes had a good game against Portland Timbers, you know, I've been saying it, okay? Just because Bernardes had a good game doesn't mean he can sustain that consistency. And that, I think that's one of the other thing that I haven't mentioned a lot, is that Bernardes is very inconsistent this season. Like, there's going to be a game where he looks like a world-class center back, like that game against the Timbers. And then there's the other game where he isn't even bothered to try to track back, and he isn't even bothered to try to mark a different attacker and just can completely capitulate. So because of that, I'm going to put Imperiale in there. To be fair, Imperiale isn't anything better, but having said that, who else we have? I mean, Alache, he hasn't played a lot. I don't really want to put him into the gauntlet if he hasn't played a lot for us, and I think he's probably kind of like a substitute guy, kind of like a coming off the bench guy. So yeah, there's no way I'm going to put him there in the center back row. And then of course in the right back position, hopefully Nick Lima is back in the lineup. I don't know exactly if Nick Lima is back. If Nick Lima is not going to be back, then I think it's going to be Salinas, and then of course on the left it's going to be Sarkovity. But if Lima is back, then I think he's going to be in there, and on the left back, it's going to be Salinas. Now, going into the holding midfield, and I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here, but I'm actually going to put Godoy in there, and you probably think, why in the world do I decide to put Godoy in this very crucial game when it's been proven time and time again that he looks really shit? Like, he honestly look like he's a shell of his former self. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like it would be a bad decision to put like Godoy in the starting 11. But having said that, I think that because what happened with Panama the other day and how, you know, he was part of that starting 11, which Panama, of course, was able to go to the World Cup for the first time. I think that confidence level will certainly carry into this, and because of that, I think it's pretty sure that he's going to have to start in this game. I mean, to be fair, we don't really have a lot of good midfielder in our team. I mean, you know, Jackson Yeo is pretty shit. Tommy Thompson has been inconsistent this season, and the only guy that I think has been decent in the midfield has been Vako, and that of course is where he will be at. I think we're probably, in terms of the 4-4-2, maybe at times we might put like a diamond kind of 4-4-2 with Vako playing as a central attacking mid and also Godoy playing as a central defensive mid, because Godoy is more of a kind of a holding midfield. He's more of kind of like a CDM. He tends to be very kind of defensive, so that is why I think maybe that is going to be kind of like, doing this game, we're probably going to like shift it around from kind of just a flat 4-4-2 to kind of like a diamond kind of shape of 4-4-2. Now, going on the left mid, it has to be Jahmir Hika. I mean, you know, a lot of people have been saying this, but this is probably the reason why. Why in the world did we decide not to put Hika in the starting 11 for a long time? Like, when you saw that game against the Timbers and the explosiveness of his play, you know, it just shows you how it was pretty clear that Chris Leach all along should have put Hika in there and shouldn't put him coming off the bench, because he has that ability to run against the defense. And although there are times where when he does run against the defense and sometimes he like lose the ball or lose control of the ball, at least he has that kind of pace kind of skill to trying to dribble through different defender and trying to seek out a attacker or a striker or a left winger or whoever, of course, is going to be in there to try to score the goal. So it's pretty clear that we need to put Hika in the left mid position and the left winger position. Now, in terms, of course, the right, this is where it gets interesting. I actually don't exactly know who exactly could be on the right. I would say maybe I could put Seren on the right, but having said that, maybe I could put Thompson on the right. To be fair, we don't really have kind of like a natural kind of right mid kind of guy, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know who exactly is going to be playing in that right mid position, so we're going to probably find out once the game starts. Now, going into the 2-4 up front, I think it's gonna be Arena, and it's gonna be, or I'm sorry, not Arena, I'm sorry, Husin is gonna be in there with Wondolowski as the 2-4. And actually, since I can't really come up with a right mid, I might as well just do 4-3-3. I might as well just put see, this is the problem with the 4-3-3, because now you still need to have like a right mid. And I just don't know if Vako can play in that right mid position. Or we might have to shift Godoy in the right mid position. And that is not his natural position. He never tends to play in that right mid position. So you see how, I know that probably some of you might think, well, why don't you just go with free midfielder? Well, the reason why I can't do that is because I still have to put a right midfielder in there. I don't think Vako or Godoy is going to be the one that is going to be playing the right midfielder, but we'll see how it goes. For now, I'm just going to go with a 4-4-2 and put like Husin and Wondolowski as the two on number 9 up front. And yeah, that of course is the prediction of this starting 11 that I think Chris Leach is going to feel against the Caps. In terms, of course, the prediction of this game, oh my goodness, we need a miracle in this game. Like, we really need a miracle. If there is a time where we really need a road win or a road resort, this is the time. Like, I feel like of all, if you look at our road record, right, and how bad it's been, we need to completely forget about it. We need to completely turn the page and completely ignore all those kind of road kind of disaster we have whenever we're kind of like on the road, and we just need to pretend that this is our first road game, and we need to get a result out of this. I mean, I feel like maybe in some ways we need to pretend this is like a playoff game. We need to pretend this is a playoff game and that we really need to get a result out of this. Please, San Jose Earthquakes, please, for the sake of trying to make this playoff race go down to the wire, at least get a draw in this game. So with that being said, I really think that in many ways it's going to be either a 0-0 draw, because we're probably just going to defend all game and not even going to go forward, or it's going to be a 1-0 win, okay? Because, you know, I just feel like even if I can't really go with 1-1, mainly because if we concede a goal early on, there is just no way in the world we can get one back. Like, from what I've seen from the Quakes, and whenever they concede the first goal, I mean, I've been saying it all the time in this preview, they just cannot get one back very easily, okay? So that is why I think it's either going to be 0-0 or it's going to be 1-0. Hopefully it's going to be 1-0. Hopefully we get some luck in this game. And yeah, that of course is going to be my prediction of this game. And I will of course do a live stream of this game. I will of course, you know, do my usual kind of like when I when I do like the FA Cup final last time, where I of course will watch the game. I'll put a little bit audio on the game and kind of like do my reaction of the game. That is exactly what I'm gonna do with this game against the Whitecaps. And yeah, I hope you guys stay tuned for that. That game, I will start the stream right around like 4:15 because the game kicks off at 4:30. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys leave a comment. What do you think the prediction or the score is going to be in this game, and the starting 11 is going to be in this game? And yeah, I will see you guys next time, and I hope when I do the match review, or actually I won't be doing a match review because I will be doing a stream, but hopefully by the end of 90 minutes on Sunday, I can see the Quakes potentially get a result on the road. But until then, I'll see you guys then, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.